one of the Star City Grinders professionals, very good player, and he'll come to me. Asked me, he's like, so, or was talking to me. He's like, hey, you're one of the names that came up with people that are pretty good at Magic that just play the worst decks, and that's why they don't do so hot. And I'm like, well, that's a compliment, right? Like a compliment sandwich.
Interesting.
Compliment, insult, compliment.
Who are the other names on this list?
He was just mentioning it. It's Adam Prozac.
Adam Prozac, really?
He played a couple of goofy ones too. Him and I were on Mono Blue Wizards for a little bit. That was a fun time. So yeah, Ali Andrade is another one playing like 5-color control at a Grand Prix. Losing is winning in back-to-back. Back-to-back winning ins, or he would have top 8 at a Grand Prix with 5cc door to nothingness control.
But he popularized that card. A lot of people picked that card up.
After Ali played with it,
wrote a few articles about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ali is he definitely makes the price of door to nothingness go up, and the price of exploration and legacy go up too. He loves his blue-green ramp deck, whatever you want to call it.
We'll see if we get any hits out of this finals here. StarCityGames.com. Standard Open in Milwaukee. We are about to crown a champion. Will it be
a champion?
Jeremy Stowe with the mono red aggro, making it 2 out of 3 of the first Standard Opens here in the new Theros format? Or will it be Zach Stern with a green-red monsters deck? 3 creatures that can go monstrous, 2 different red-green planeswalkers.
Well, here's the start that you want, right? Shock myself, play Llanowar Elf.
Oh, you never want to shock yourself in this matchup.
Yeah, that's not good. And this is where the play-draw rule that we've incorporated is really a killer for Zach, right? First place, seed 1, Jeremy Stowe. Monterey gets to go first.
And there you go. There's the shock on the Elvish Mystic.
Played out well. If he
can follow up with another 1-drop, doesn't look like he's got it though. Jeremy just
there's the
attached
0-3 right off the top. What a draw that was. That's a good draw. This is the card in the matchup where I fear for Jeremy. It just seems like such a well-built card against red decks. If you see Jeremy's hand, I think it's 2 more land in his hand. He is just flooded. Oh God, look at the other card in his hand. That's not good.
Man,
shock land.
A lot of lands.
And then a shock number deuce here. So if I'm Zach here, that Boris Reckoner is the best card against my deck, creature-wise in his deck.
Certainly, yeah.
What are we going to do against that? If he has a Mizium Mortar, I would actually do that quickly here. I'll take my 4 damage with a,
Yeah, because what is he going to do? Okay, so he chooses to play a Stomping Ground tapped.
If he has I don't know if he has the Mortar.
Follow up with a second Caryatid.
All right, so he's going to tap and play. Wow, this is a lot of mana. Oh, look at that card in his hand. He's got the Reveler in his plan, Xenagos here. And what else has he got here?
Jeremy Stowe doing the Miracle Peak there. People have gotten used to looking at the card before putting it into their hand.
And I'm not sad to see the Miracle Peak, miracles and the own going on. I'm done with some bonfire shenanigans. So.
And the Hexproof 03 Defender blocks Ash Zealot.
He takes 5 to the dome though, going to 11.
Boros Reckoner.
And let's see, so he has
Cackler getting through.
He has access to 6 mana here. He has another 03, so never mind. When I say top deck an 03, he actually just had 2 more in his hand anyway, so it didn't matter.
But he played the one he top decked.
Yeah, he did. So
for value.
He did. So he has the mana to play 03 and Planeswalker and make a 2/2. I don't know if that's the play or not, because you got to tap all those guys. Oh, this guy. Oh, we didn't see that. Fight Machine.
Fight Machine?
Fight Machine is on board.
Oh, boy.
What did he draw? He needs
Lucranos World Eater, the big 5/5. It can monstrous. Oh boy, Jeremy Stowe.
That is a rough.
How do you get around this Hydra?
Luckily, Zach's not exactly at a high life total here, because when that Reckoner dies, it's going to deal 3 damage.
Yeah, he can get in pretty fearlessly with the Reckoner
6 damage in total. I think do you have to block here? Because can you afford to go to 5 life after fighting this card? I don't think you can.
You have to get rid of the Reckoner eventually.
I think you block here. I think you block here and
force Jeremy to use the trigger on the Polukranos.
Yeah, or I guess he's just going to do it that way. That's fine too.
Chump with a
I like that. I
Caryatid.
like that play actually. Oh, hammer.
time.
Yeah,
That's not a bad card to draw when you're flooded here for Jeremy Stowe. Mono red with 5 lands already. That's too many.
That's definitely one of the better cards you could have drawn. Actually, I don't like blocking with the defender here, mainly because you needed that mana to actually be able to fight both those creatures on the other side too. But I guess he's just going to go for fighting one of the creatures. And let's see, does he have enough mana to do it for 2? Yeah.
You can do it for
2.
X equals 2.
That's not too bad, because then it'll be a 7 toughness, able to block Boros Reckoner and then not die of the trigger.
Well, yeah, but I was going to say, I don't know if you want to make your guys monstrous here against Boros Reckoner, because then you're just making a bigger trigger.
Yeah,
they could just dome you.
You're in a rough place here. Actually, well, he can block prior to damage. He can, or damage resolves prior to the trigger resolving. He can actually pump his guy monstrous in response, right? You do it that way. You can block with a 4/5.
So you're saying deal the damage, deal 5 to the Reckoner, and then monstrous?
Yeah,
you
take a little bit less
that.
there, go to 6 then. Because what are you going to do against this this Reckoner here? He's going to come crashing in again.
right now he's got access to a 3/3 Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
So he could do that. That would probably force Jeremy to most likely just give his Reckoner first strike and kill the Scavenging Ooze rather than trade it and get a,
he's definitely
lightning
not
strike out of it.
Definitely not blocking the Scavenging Ooze. He's not blocking with that.
Okay, so Zach is going to sacrifice a land and make a 3/3 artifact enchantment creature golem. There we go. We got the official Wizard of the Coast token. I really like this token. It looks cool.
Definitely cool. All right, so Jeremy here is going to crash in with the Boros Reckoner. I don't think he can attack with anything else. His blocks, if he attacks with everything, he's just going to lose literally every card on the board except for that Reckoner. He's going to block the 5/5 on the 3/3. He's going to block the 0/3 on the 2/2 Ash Zealot. He'll block the Ooze on the Cackler, and he'll make his guy a 3/3. Oh, but then again, we have a removal spell, so never mind.
Okay, so Lightning Strike from Jeremy Stowe on the Scavenging Ooze. Zach only has access to 1 mana from the Caryatid.
Yeah, you can't use that. You gotta say
no,
okay.
Because you gain a life, but then you lose 2 because you're also tapping your Caryatid, which is a blocker here.
Yeah, you gotta say okay. Yeah, put it right in the bin.
I believe Jeremy Stowe is now hellbent, but 2 good plays here in the Hammer and then the Lightning Strike. Yeah, he lets it go.
Alright, so
now he can attack with everything.
He's going to put the 5/5 in front of the 3/3. He'll put the wall in front of the mana producing wall in front of either 2/2, and then he's going to take 5 going to 6. Not still out of the ballpark here for Zach.
No, and the lower Zach gets on life, the more threatening that Boros Reckoner is. How do you kill it without killing yourself?
You need another.
That's a problem.
You need another Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah, you don't want your creature to be too big, blocking the Boros Reckoner.
Yeah, monsters and Boros Reckoners do not get along, so. Alright, so he draws, it looks like the red creature that blows 3 lands up. I'm still trying to get these names
Ember
down.
Swallower,
Ember
the
Swallower.
4/5.
And he's got another 0/3 in his hand. So we got a few dudes here in the repertoire. But like you said, that Reckoner is just going to be crashing in. There's just nothing you really can do. You can't really block it with your monster to kill it because it'll kill you, or put you into enough damage range where anything kills you. Because you got to remember, Jeremy's creatures all come into play with haste now because of the hammer. So anything he draws,
and even lands are fine draws at this point. Each land he draws is a 3/3.
Yeah.
So making a bunch of mana to cast an Ember Swallower.
And if we could bring the Planeswalker up real quick, we're going to actually take a look at the ultimate here. So you exile the top 7 of your cards, and then you can put any number of creatures and or lands from them onto the battlefield. So it looks like maybe we're trying to get to ultimate here. Maybe that's a way to come back in this game. Because the 2/2s aren't going to do much.
Oh, and look at that. Jeremy Stowe's thinking the exact same thing. What does that ultimate do?
Yeah, it's definitely something where I haven't seen a Xenagos ultimate yet on camera. It's more famous for making little 2/2 dorks here with haste. So we're gonna see the ultimate plan here. Zach's gonna try to get that thing to reveal some outs here. Maybe a Scavenging Ooze, something like that on the top. If he
Still 2 turns away, though.
Yeah, Scavenging Ooze would be just gross here because he can actually gain a good amount of life here, at least 3 life from his own graveyard or 3 or 4 life. He can block with more creatures to gain more life. And then finally, he might be able to kill that Reckoner without it killing him.
And here's the thing. We've talked about the red aggro decks, how short their decision trees are, but this is one of the critical decisions.
Yeah.
So Jeremy taking some time to think through
Their
how is he
decision,
going to win this game? How is
Just Reckoner.
Boros Reckoner gonna lead him to victory?
Yeah, he doesn't have any other attacks. He can only attack with Reckoner here. And like you said, the decision tree, even though small, is always in combat. It's based on
And
combat.
Zach
Oh,
Stern
wow.
snap blocks with the Ember Swallower.
Going to 2
Gonna
life.
go down to 2, most likely.
I like this. I like that block, and I like getting rid of the Reckoner. And if Jeremy draws a burn spell, so be it. But now, if Jeremy doesn't in the next 2 turns, he's not going to win with creatures because we have plenty of creatures to block.
Well,
If you are pre-registered,
the outs are what?
We'd like to check
Shock,
in. We have no
Lightning
line
Strike,
for pre-registration
Chandra's
check-in right
Phoenix. So we've seen, what, 2 Shocks and a Lightning Strike. So
Yeah.
2,
Oh, well.
3,
Also,
5.
yeah. Those are the
9.
main outs. Yeah.
I believe he's got 9
Fanatic of
Mogus.
Mogus, yeah.
13. Jeremy Stowe with the 13 outer here.
Oh, and this is a huge monstrous ability because there goes all those lands.
We'd like the following
Jeremy was
players
going to use for
to
fodder.
the stage.
So now our outs have been chopped in
Michael
half.
Platts.
Fanatic and Mogus
So
will be
Alex
uncastable.
Roberts.
Phoenix is
Phoenix
also
is also
uncastable.
uncastable.
Now cutting down the outs to just
Ryan
the burn
Kincaid.
spells, Lightning Strike, and Shock.
Yeah, you can't. Jeremy here cannot activate that hammer. He needs to draw. If he draws a land, he'll be able to at least get a Phoenix to kill him. So he needs to say okay and just let his lands go away. Yeah. He said it's okay because he knows his outs. The good thing about red, look at this deck list. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, that's what red does. They play 4 of every best red card. So he knows his outs. He knows what he needs. So he knows he needs land and that. It's not like you have a diverse series of outs with different mana costs. You're playing one color. You know your
Okay, is
outs.
it a burn spell? Is it Lightning Strike or Shock? If it's a land, he can play it and hope for the Chandra's Phoenix next turn.
Okay, so at this point we know it's not a burn spell because this would be borderline unsportsmanlike here. So he is not the Shock. Oh, if he does it, I might flip this booth. So.
He's fiddling with this sleeve. 2.
Yeah. I wouldn't unleash her. I would want it to buy more time to block, right? Definitely do not unleash her. You're not going to win with damage at this point. There's no way you're getting through on the ground. Absolutely
Yeah,
no
Zach
way.
is not going to tap those Sylvan Caryatids.
Do not.
3 hex-proof defenders.
Oh, and actually, next turn, he can actually just he can just fight and kill them anyway. And he does. So he's
he
just gonna.
unleashes.
Isn't he dead? Jeremy's dead, right? He fights the Ash Zealot, and then that's how much damage is that? That's got to be lethal with a haste creature. Let's see. If he doesn't do that, he's got
4
7,
mana off
8, 9, 10,
Xenagos.
11. Yeah, it was lethal without the. If you just fight there,
3, 8.
that's lethal.
Yeah. That is.
That's why you don't. Yeah, you can't do that there. I think you had enough mana to kill the Rakdos Cackler anyway. So. Okay.
Oh, so.
Isn't it always so close though with red? I almost beat you. You always almost beat somebody. Then you get icy gripped or monsters fall from the sky and smash you.
Not quite the icy grip, kind of the Hydra's heads.
You know who? I'm gonna call Zach Rumbling Slum. That's what he is. Remember Rumbling Slum?
That was the 5/5 for what, like green, red 1
Yep.
that deals 1 damage to each player.
During their upkeep.
Yeah.
And that card was the big creature of the time. That was, that should have been the trivia question. Rumbling Slum. No, never mind. What a great time. That was the old Gruul days when you had the best creature was Scab Clan Baller, which is a 2-mana 3/3 trampler if you had Bloodthirst.
Bloodthirst,
So
yeah.
that was prime pickings for a creature now. Nowadays, that would almost be unplayable because you need to get Bloodthirst. Otherwise, it's just like a worst version of what's the one from M13 called?
It was terrible. Oh, the one.
The one that has to be blocked by 2 creatures. Storm.
The Berserker. Stormblood Berserker.
Berserkers. Yeah. So. All right. So do you have a trivia question?
I
you
do.
wanna ask? Okay. So.
Yep. We've been talking about Team Star City Games. You can go out to teamstarcitygames.com and check out the blog where Ruben Bressler, Cedric Phillips, and Jeremy Knoll, some of our associates who you often see in the booth or helping out as director, have been doing some hard work in Dublin, Ireland, giving us updates on the team. One of the team members, trivia question yesterday, he made top 8. Sam Black, playing the mono blue devotion deck. My question to you guys, and if you know the answer, please tweet at us at the hashtag SCGPremium. No need to rush. You don't have to be first. We will choose a winner from all of the correct answers over a time period in the next few minutes while we watch the finals here. So Sam Black, Team Star City Games member in the top 8, playing mono blue devotion. What is the key card in his deck, the key creature in his deck with devotion to blue? This is the big hit of the weekend. Everyone's been talking about it. Everyone's been buying it, speculating, picking them up, on the cheap, hoping that it will spike in price. It has
had a great show yesterday. It didn't top 8, but there was just
did not make the top 8 here in
of the
Milwaukee.
later tables, and we saw it just fall to the control deck. Lucas beat one the round before he ID'd, so he actually beat Mono Blue Devotion deck and was able to ID in the final round because, as discussed, Supreme Verdict just mops the floor with that deck. So we'll come back after this last couple games here, and we'll let you know who wins. Make sure you tweet us at SCG Premium hashtag so we can give you that free year
12
good
months.
ratings.
12 months of free premium you win if you know the
Lots of
answer
months.
to the Mono Blue Devotion's key creature card with devotion to blue.
Okay, so
And some people on Twitter are making a joke about devotion to black, the deck being played by Sam Black.
yeah. Let's see.
It would have been nice if he was playing the devotion, the black devotion deck.
He has a zombie. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you guys, if the new series of tokens coming out, Ricky, guess who's getting a token?
I'm gonna guess Sam Black.
Nope.
No, he already got a token.
Me. Yay.
Shaheen
I got a
Surani.
token. It's a dream
What
of
would
mine
you-
come true.
Are you a 0/0 germ?
No, actually, Brian BBD texted me and he told me shotgun germ. He called dibs on it. He said if I pick germ, he's gonna hurt me, physically. So
Brian Bronduin is going to be
he
a
strong armed me
0/0
out of germ. So and then if I can't have germ, I will take spirit again. So I will be in competition with the Tom Martell for who is going to be the most collected spirit token, and I'm going to win that contest. You know how? Because I'm going to go collect all the tokens myself if I have to. I will win this contest by default.
That is not the point of having a token in your likeness, having them all in your basement.
I'm going to have them all.
Okay, let's check out these sideboards, Shaheen. We've got Jeremy Stowe playing mono red aggro on your left, needs to catch up here. He lost game 1 to the Monsters deck. How do you beat Monsters?
You're going to need Ratchet Bomb. That's a card that's able to deal with any cost early. You can get it cranking up from turn 2 to deal with the creatures that are a big problem for you. The other cards look pretty awful against the monster deck. I mean, maybe Frostborn Weird, I doubt it. That's more for the mirror. Mizzy Mortar is going to come in too. So I see 2 Ratchet Bomb coming in, 2 Mizzy Mortar coming in. Problem is, a lot of these creatures are just too big for even Mizzy Mortars. They have 5 toughness.
Yeah,
right off the gates.
Lucanos and Ember Swallow are
it's
both
like
with 5 toughness.
Yeah, it's rough. It's like what do you do here?
Overloaded, but overloading, you have to get to 6 mana. Like I was gonna say, overloading to kill the Sylvan Caryatids, the hexproof guys.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like
Not a good fit here.
This again, I really think this matchup's a little rougher than it first appears. Just because that wall is hexproof. If it wasn't hexproof, then Zach could easily get just pummeled by the aggressive Rakdos Cackler draws. But Zach on the other side has a great sideboard for red. He's got 3 Ratchet Bombs, so they're each going to bring in Ratchet Bomb individually. He also has Anger of the Gods ×3. That is a nightmare card too. So if you don't have the hexproof draws, then you got to be nervous if you're Jeremy saying, oh no, what's going to happen? He probably has an Anger of the Gods if he has no O3 on turn 2 and no Mana Dork on turn 1. You got to suspect something's fishy on that side of the board. So, okay, so we have a few sideboarding here. They're thinking about it. They're ready. Zach and Jeremy looks like it's definitely a jovial match. They all look like they're smiling and laughing, having a good time. Definitely happy to be here. You know, these opens are just like any other Magic tournament that's 10 rounds. They're tough. There's a lot of variance in Magic. There's a lot of decision trees and skill involved as well. So getting this far in a tournament definitely feels real good. Feels real good.
Yeah, you got to make some friends here. Otherwise, it's no fun being in a convention center for 10 hours. It's a lot of fun if you have friends, joke around. Even if you lose, you watch your friends play, maybe do a side draft together.
Yeah. I am in full agreement here. I actually was gunslinging a little bit earlier during my round off because I just can't get enough of Magic. And got to meet a few different people.
And what better way to make a new friend than to face off in the finals? Have you ever faced off in the finals against someone of an Open or a PTQ in the past, and now they're one of your best friends?
Yeah, not best friends, but definitely people that I definitely associate with on a regular basis. I played Christian Calcano in the finals of an Open. I was friends with him before, but you know, you get beat by Christian, and you know, at first I'm sad and I want to strangle him. But that goes away quickly because I like him a lot. So the friendship.
And by quickly, you mean it took you about 2 years?
2 years, yeah. It took me a while. That's quickly for me. And the thing is, the reason why it was so devastating is because if that deck were to win, it was blue-white control with 0 preordains, and it would have just been, you know, my flagship at the time. Even though I was dead wrong about preordain. But still, you know.
You're willing to admit that now.
I'm willing to admit that. It's in the article.
That's also taken you 2 years.
Yeah, it's taken me a lot longer than 2 for that one. When did preordain? Did it come out 2 years ago? 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years
3 years
now.
ago, yes. Time flies here.
Time flies when you're scrying.
I actually had a lot of the matches I won at Nationals, and prior to that, even in that Open, I beat the Control Mirror without preordain because I just had basically triple the Planeswalkers they had in threats, so it was pretty easy to do. But I lost a ton of games due to my mana and mulliganing, where preordain would have been very helpful. So it was a give or take there. So even though I concede here the argument, it's only a partial concession.
All right, Zach Stern is going to mulligan. Jeremy Stowe keeps.
All right, so if you're Jeremy again, you want the same start, but then again, we need a little fewer lands there in hand besides the 3 in hand and 2 on board there. I think this red deck, to beat creatures that are bigger, needs an explosive start without any faltering. I think if Zach has O3 on turn 2, followed by a monster, Jeremy's going to be stuck on the ground. Maybe a Chandra's Phoenix or 2 in this match will be a little bit helpful because Zach really doesn't have any flyers to deal with this. So he's going to need something here that is either evasion-based or really, really up-tempo startup. That's what we're going to need here.
The only flyers in Zach Stern's deck are those Weathermouth Hellkites.
Weathermouth, yep. Weathermouth Dragon. So Zach mulligans here. Good news for Jeremy.
I don't know. I still think Fire Fist Striker is going to be a key card.
Even
Sylvan Caryatid blocks it.
And now we have 3 Anger of the Gods,
but in that
Wars
game,
and Mortars now. This game too. Yeah, it's just,
you know, you live by the burn, you die by the burn.
Yeah. Now
I think you just have to come out with Burning Tree, Fire Fist Striker on turn 2, and cross your fingers.
I agree with that. I think it's either going to be an explosive draw, like we said.
They don't have it every time, and
Yeah.
you cannot be afraid of them having it. Your whole deck is designed around the swarm. You gotta Zerg rush them, if you will.
I agree.
And here we go. Zach Stern looks at his 6. Does he like it? Do you like the juice?
Do you like the juice?
No, goes to 5.
All right, so this game
So
is...
maybe he's looking aggressively for an Anger of the Gods, or maybe he's just not not getting enough lands, who knows?
Usually with hand, especially when I'm on 6, a lot of times I'm mulligan 7 when I don't have the necessary tools to win. But if I mulligan 6, that means that hand's just terrible. I will not mulligan a 6 with a couple lands and spells there. It's just not possible. We all know mulliganing is still doesn't really deteriorate your chance of winning too much. But going to 5 is something. It's tough to win on 5. Especially when that red player is like, yep, my 7's good, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a very large uphill battle here. We did see Domri from Zach game 1, so I see a hand that he has needing a Domri. But if Jeremy goes Burning Tree here, I don't think Domri's going to be able to be the savior there.
When you're playing, do you make mulliganing decisions based on how your opponent's mulligan? Do you think, oh, if my opponent's mulliganing, I'll mulligan this as well, or I'll keep this?
I do. If I get the read on them that they keep their hand and they're strong, their hand is strong, and my hand's super weak, then I'll mulligan. Not 10 out of 10 times, but that will be an influence on my mulligan decision. There's a lot more to mulligan than just looking at your hand and then shipping it back. Your opponents, the way they react when they see their hand, whether they keep their hand immediately, those are real things that I use to help me in my decision making. For those listening, if you try to get me now with your, I don't know if I'm going to keep this hand. All right, I'll keep Burning Tree. It's not going to work on me because I know now I'm going to switch it up. See, if you're affecting me, you're getting in my head.
Well, I would probably get in your head anyway. I look at every hand and try to evaluate kind of what my sequence of plays is going to be. So even if the hand is good, I'm already thinking about what I want to play on turn 2 and 3.
You're definitely the minority. Most people, when they have that good hand, are just keep all day, every day. So here's the start that Zach needs and Jeremy wants too, but he doesn't have the Burning Tree start. And he did bring in Mortars.
No Burning Tree.
And he has a hammer in his hand. Here's where hammer is not going to be that great at this point in the game.
Zach's going to be at 14? No, 16 now, right?
Yep. Oh, Mizium Mortar. That's a nice card too. I think he already had one. I think he's going to play the second O3 here.
And totally shut down Jeremy Stowe's offense. So
2 more land here, and that was an overloaded Mizium Mortar.
But no third land for Zach.
Oh, he left Shock in. Oh no. I would have boarded out Shock in a heartbeat. I would have tossed him out of my deck fast as you can say Shock.
And here we go. Perhaps a little flooded again for mono red deck.
You wouldn't keep Shock in, would you?
I think I would.
It just doesn't do enough.
Because of the Planeswalkers.
I don't think it does enough.
Wanting to interact with the Planeswalkers in a favorable way.
I think that Skullcracker does better because it actually kills Xenagos without it. I think there's just better options.
So if Zach Stern's green-red Monsters takes this Standard Open in Milwaukee, at least for the finals, his MVP is going to be Sylvan Caryatid, a card that a lot of people panned out of the gates, said, oh, it reminds me of Utopia Tree, or Birds of Paradise for 2 mana is not good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough right here in blocking mode, surprisingly.
I mean, for the 5 people out there that still like Omen Speaker, this is where you want it. This is the red deck. It's just things that have 3 toughness are good against the red deck, but then again against other decks, not so good.
So Jeremy Stowe chipping away, activates his Hammer of Perforos, sacrifices a land and makes a 3/3 Golem. He attacks with everything. The Golem gets through. Both Cacklers get blocked by the Caryatids. Zach Stern draws a 5th land, so now he's 1 mana away from overloading that Mizium Mortar.
Right, he has Scavenging Ooze. He's really thinking about playing it, but I don't think you play it here because you don't want it to get shocked. You can't grow right now, and if he shocks that, then I guess, what do I know? His shock is just killing everything.
4 mana, Ember Swallower, the 4/5. So he takes down one of his Caryatid shields, but possibly puts out a bigger shield with a little spike on it.
Yeah. Do you think that the red deck might need to start playing a card like a Threaten card again? For this
Oh
deck?
yeah, no, absolutely. When I was playing the deck, I really wanted active trees on the board, especially for things like Desecration Demon from the black mid-range decks. Desecration Demon is a very hard card to interact with. You don't want to be sacrificing your creatures to it, and 6/6 is too big to really take down.
Even against like Aetherling, where it's a remove from game, but at least it gets it out of the way because there's no other real red card that gets a 4/5 out of the way. I mean, it's just good against any controller mid-range deck that has creatures in it. So I think you might need if you guys are thinking about building mono red, maybe a couple of those in the sideboard. I wish they had the Trader's Instinct. That was much better. Is that the one that gave a trample?
Trader's Instinct gave +2,
plus 0. That's the 4-mana one. What's the one that was 3 and gave a trample? It was red, and 1.
There was a trample one. There was one that gave a +1/+1 counter.
There was a trample one, and maybe it was a long time
Mark
ago.
of Mutiny.
Maybe our producers here can figure out what card that was. It was red, 1. Take control of target creature against trample until end of turn. Or someone on Twitter that's watching can tweet me at SCG, or excuse me, at ShaheenMTG, and I'll be appreciative
Currently,
there.
we have access to Active Treason and the new one that scries, the 4-mana Scry 1, which is just...
There it is, Trader's Blood. There it is, Trader's
very
Blood.
Nice. Okay, but Jeremy Stowe uses 2 spells, a Shock and a Mizzy Mortis, to take down the Ember Swallower, and now attacking with everything gets 5 damage through, taking Zach's turn to 8. We did see Jeremy Stowe, I believe, has a Lightning Strike in hand, so Zach's turn, despite the 2 Caryatids, is getting into a precarious board state here.
Yeah, this is
he's still
getting rough here.
did not draw the 6th land for the overloaded Mizium Mortars. Now he can play his
Ooze and eat a
Scavenging
creature
Ooze.
main phase here.
Yeah.
Does he have does Jeremy have any land open? I can't.
No, he
right.
tapped out.
Nope, he has
has
shock open.
He used 1 shock though to finish off the Ember Swallower.
Right. Yeah. So I think you just still wait. There's no reason to use the Scavenging Ooze ability right now, because if he has a shock, he's got it. If not, then might as well wait. You do during their upkeep to prevent him from maybe drawing a shock. I might do that. So saying go and then activating Scavenging Ooze on the upkeep. Yep.
He's thinking about
fishy,
it. He's
fishy,
thinking
fish.
carefully.
These are some funny Twitter hands. He gives the answer. I appreciate it.
He's casting another spell here. 2 mana. Gonna not. Okay, he's got 2 copies of Mortars, so he's gonna cast one of them here to take out the Golem.
Yeah.
Looks like.
I don't mind
not
this play
bad.
either, yeah. And it kind of like puts Jeremy in a false sense of security here, thinking maybe he's used the Mortars, he doesn't have a second one. Is that a Domri in his hand? Oh, that's a fantastic card. Next turn, that Domri is going to do some work. Some work.
So,
I still like Zach's position here. He draws. It looks like is that another?
it's a Burning Tree.
Is Burning Tree, is that Lightning Strike is the other card?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lightning Strike here is obviously going to hit that Scavenging Ooze.
So the Burning Tree, remember, is going to get haste from the Hammer of Perforos. That's a very important ability right now.
Yeah, so
Zach Stern is so close to stabilizing this board. Every extra point of damage here that Jeremy can get in before a big monster hits, or that overloaded Mizium Mortars.
I think you play Burning Tree here, you use the mana to Lightning Strike, Scavenging Ooze, and then you crash in with Team. So
yeah, I think that's correct as well.
With this play, Zach will go to 9, then he can block 1, take 4, go to 5, and then he can't even overload really Mortars. He can, but when he does,
he has to tap out
he
his
tap out. He's
Caryatids.
going to go to 2 life from that hammer.
Yeah. Okay, so it happens exactly as you said, Burning Tree.
Oh, he can't even gain a life here, because if he does, he can't block, so he's got to say okay. So with this being the case, Jeremy can put Zach at 4, and then basically at 1 life when he taps out for this Mortars next turn. If he draws the land, that's going to be rough here.
And Zach Stern still needs to draw that land.
Yeah.
And that's not a given.
And a red deck doesn't mind putting you at 1. That's not a...
Here we go. Let's see. Is it the 6th land?
Nope.
No, it's not.
Still not dead, though. He can play Singleton Mortars here and a blocker, and he'll be able to survive another turn, but, he is on a fragile...
Survive. Yeah, that's the best he can do. Survive, indeed. Outwit, outlast, outthink.
Now he doesn't have the Mortars out because he's got to use it just for a spot removal spell here.
And that's very unfortunate for Zach Stern. If he had drawn, well, even if he overloads the Mortars with that hammer, that's so much extra pressure.
Yeah.
Automatic 3 damage coming across, for sure.
And hammer has definitely found a great home in mono red. The bad thing about it, you really can't play more than 1 in your main deck, because drawing in multiples is pretty terrible.
Yes.
So you definitely want to. The 1 is a perfect amount in the main deck. So those following, we appreciate you guys, and if you ever have a question that you want to ask about what's going on in the match, tweet at me and I'll do my best to describe what's going on.
There's no line for registration currently for the Legacy
All
Open.
right.
So
Premium.
he plays the Elvish Mystic now. He's committing himself. He has to use the mortars, right?
Yeah, he's gonna use the mortars here. Otherwise he's not dead. Actually, maybe waiting here, but then again, you really can't overload it anyway. There's at no point in this match where Zach is gonna be able to overload it and survive. Because if he overloads it, he's gonna have to tap all of his carriers, and then
And the hammer will finish him.
Yeah, the hammer will finish him.
The hammer will fall. So yeah, he sees the writing on the wall. Uses Mizzy Mortars to take out the Burning Tree Emissary. Now Jeremy Stowe untaps. The world is his oyster. No matter what it is, it's pretty much a good draw. Even lands at this point will continue to fuel the Hammer of Perforos.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you cannot play the Legacy Open and haven't signed up,
He's going
you
to
got
tap
about 15
3,
minutes left in registration.
activate
And
the
it is
hammer,
Very, very short line.
get a 3/3 golem, and attack with everything. So here we go.
We'll block
Block some
with our
cacklers.
cacklers with our O3s, and then we'll
Chump
chump
block the golem.
At this point, there's no real.
No, it looks like he just took 3 there from the golem. Yeah,
That's fine too. I mean, at this point,
he's dead to anything.
he's just struggling here. Domri doesn't do anything because for the first time in Zach's probably life, his board has no power on it. Minus that little
He's
man
got
dork there.
one single power from Elvish Mystic.
Yeah.
A lot of toughness
I
and
think
the
Zach's
3 carry
Zach's ready to go to game 3, I think, here. I mean, he can survive another turn, but Jeremy at 20 against Zach's 1 life here. He's going to
Play it out.
Oh, he's going to play it out here.
It's the
Actually,
finals.
No, he actually has no. He's dead. Actually, I just realized he's going to make another 3/3 and attack him.
No, you still play it out.
Let make him do it. Make the red player.
Don't you do that on Magic Online?
No.
You don't make him play it out? What if they misclick?
Nah, it's not a real win then. Depends on where we are. Are we in a PTQ or are we in a 2-man queue? I'm not waiting around to be killed for $1 profit here. So, all right. So. Jeremy could be playing around a card even though he saw his deck list and there is no card. Oh.
And just strikes him.
Nothing more degrading than that.
Really?
Yeah.
What if it was shock?
It doesn't matter. It's all the
Doesn't
same.
matter.
All you guys are the same. You're
What
red
if it was
players.
Fanatic of Mogus?
Yeah, I mean, have some respect here. Just look at the burn spell. Your opponent's at 1. Just drop it on the table. Let's move on with our lives. Let's go to game 3 here. Burning people at a slower rate makes me upset.
You don't like the slow roll?
I don't like it. Zach is gonna holding himself back right now from flipping the table. So
I slow rolled Hall of Famer Ben Stark in a booster draft once.
did you?
Yeah.
Good.
It was actually an accident.
Are you proud of yourself?
Well, I get to tell this story now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So Zach
He
here
was not very happy.
No, I can't imagine. Zach's got to bring that destructive revelry, right? That hammer's just doing work to him. Do you want to have 1 out to it? Maybe bring him Pithy Needle, or he can actually get his Ratchet Bomb to 3. I mean, he could probably just leave the Ratchet Bomb.
Ratchet Bomb on 3 or 0 to take out the token.
Yeah.
Like he just needed like a turn or 2 to stabilize.
Yeah, and he
or,
was
or
on
a land.
He was on a mull of the 5 too. It's not like he was
No.
battling with full, a full arsenal there. So, all right. So this is game 3. Zach on the play for the first time in the match. Got to be happy with that. Nothing better than watching a Rakdos Cackler on the draw. I'd rather be in that situation all the time as the monster player. Again, the big creatures here. The big creatures combined with Domri, combined with 4 Mizium Mortars after board, 3 Mizium Mortars, 3 Anger of the Gods after board here. I have to put it in his favor, and we were having a discussion earlier, Ricky and I. Ricky is liking the mono-red player. I'm liking the green-red monster player in this matchup. But hey, we've gotten to game 3, so they've each displayed the ability to win regardless. if matchups meant everything and it was 100%, this wouldn't be a very fun game, would it?
No, I mean, most matchups are what, somewhere in the 60-40 range, 70-30. Even like the best deck in a format.
Yeah.
What's its win percentage over the field? Right? Not that great.
Yeah, I mean, if you take, let's say, Goblins and Legacy versus, let's say mono red Goblins from back in the day versus a combo deck, let's say Show and Tell, they're probably like 90-10 because of the lack of any kind of interaction that you have. But nowadays, you don't really have those kinds of matchups. Even the Goblin decks are playing Aethersworn Candace and Thalia in their sideboard, and maybe Mindbreak Trap and Thalia main deck. So they have outs to, let's say, like Show and Tell or Storm or...
well, the best answer to Show and Tell from Goblins was Angel of Despair.
Yeah, you know,
right?
I don't like the Angel of Despair plan. I actually was helping the Goblin player out yesterday. I think a Singleton Emrakul is better. I think because you get to attack first, you just kill him. Why even mess around? Just play Emrakul attacking.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask Cedric Phillips. Favors the Goblin decks.
Yeah. And Cedric Phillips knows as well
Plays
as
the Angel of
anyone.
Despair. Well, now playing the Archon.
Oh, Omniscience. Yeah, but Omniscience, our producer told us, is such a low-played deck. The vast majority of decks that we see out there from the Show and Tell are just the Show and Tell sneak deck still. But Omniscience is definitely a stronger deck than those, I think, because of the new Legend rule. It's a much safer build to play. Because the old Show and Tell decks just with Sneak Attack, you're just like, oh, City of Traders, Lotus Petal, Show and Tell, Emrakul, I win. No, I got an Emrakul too. You lose. It's not like the game's over. So Omniscience is definitely a safer play there. But
AJ Soccer and I had a lot of
popularity.
fun in Atlanta last month, the Legacy Open there. Omnitel took the Legacy Open, and we got to say, release the ants a whole bunch of times.
You
Kill
did get
condition
said.
for that deck.
Release the Ants. I remember that card. What set did that come out of?
It was Lorwyn Block. I think specifically it might have been Morningtide.
Yeah, that's definitely one. I remember it being in Standard, even though not being played at all in Standard, but around Standard time.
Clash, deal 1 damage, Clash.
Yeah, I remember it being limited a little bit too. Clash it.
I didn't really like Clash.
No, me neither. I liked, at least you got to do a little scrying first a lot of the times, you know? Like
It was kind of a free scry.
Yeah. Definitely, what was the, before that, it wasn't Clash, but you got to scry 3 to reveal the top card, and then they did that. Like Riddle the Lightning and,
Oh yeah, there was Riddle, Lightning, and Judge Unworthy.
Judge Unworthy. I actually played Judge Unworthy and Constructed. It was pretty good for a while. So, speaking of how great Scry is, those cards had Scry 3. So what's that, like drawing a card too? For all you Scry lovers out there? No, Scry is not drawing a card. Scry is a distant second.
Well, the problem with those spells was if you needed to keep a land on top, like to cast your other spells, they did no damage.
Right.
So the scry, well, most of the time you want to scry into a big spell.
Sometimes you need that land, yeah.
Sometimes you need that land, or sometimes you scry into a spell that was big enough to deal with damage, but then you can't cast it.
I top aided a pizza queue with mono red control in that block, with Greater Gargadons and Riddle the Lightning.
Ooh, the Garg Father.
I played Gauntlet of Might, I think it's called? Gauntlet of
Power.
Power.
Right now is the time to begin.
Producing lots of red mana with all my mountains. That was the last time I played that many mountains.
So it looks like Jeremy Stowe's going to be the one to mulligan in this final deciding game of the match of the finals of the Standard Open.
Yeah.
Here in Milwaukee,
Exciting
Wisconsin.
finish again. We had a nice, diverse top 8. Only one control deck, which was a little disheartening, but he did pretty well. I think that for those who just joined us, there was one little misstep with the Elspeth, which would have brought him to game 3. However, he played very well besides that, and he drew a lot of land, so I'm going to give the loss to the Esper deck due to complete variance. So that's what I'm going to name it. It's going to be a variance loss.
So if not for variance, you heard it here, Shaheen Sarani saying, if not for variance, Esper would have won this tournament.
Yeah, my pony in the race was defeated. I'm going to have a strong word with him. I'm going to yell at him.
Do you have a secret club? Is there like an Esper club that you guys all meet at after hours?
It's that Illuminati stuff, but just with Esper players only, with control players.
Oh.
Yeah. Jay-Z, whatnot. So we have our own little clique here. We gotta stick together.
Jay-Z is an Esper player. I'm just saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. If he were to play Magic, that's what he would do.
What about Adrian Peterson?
Adrian Peterson, well, he actually is probably a planeswalker in real life. So.
Okay. The running back.
I don't know how you can tear
the Minnesota
I don't think
Vikings.
you have an ACL and they come back and just destroy the world. Well, and actually, the kind of sub story was Jamal Charles that year, who also did very well after his big injury. So these athletes nowadays just much better than they used to be here.
Adrian Peterson, among the Magic community, famous for a picture where he was holding up like a commander set or a dual deck. The punter for the Vikings that year, Chris Kluwe, is well known for being a geek and playing Magic and World of Warcraft, and had Adrian Peterson take that picture with Magic the Gathering product in his hands. Of course, all of our thoughts and prayers go out to Adrian Peterson and the Vikings family this week. His son tragically died earlier in the week. There was a police investigation. We don't know all the facts there, but we wish Adrian the best, even as a Packers fan. Tragedies like this transcend sports. So.
Oh yeah. It's just whenever anything happens like that, you gotta throw your heart out to him, wish the best. And even in sports, when people get injured, especially, I'm not a big cheering of injury. So sports can't dictate how you act as a human being, I don't think. And in this sports match right here in the finals,
Jeremy's still thinking a long time about his 6. Does it have what he needs? He says no. See, he looked and then nodded his head like, yeah, I made the right decision. It doesn't matter.
Do you
no,
look still?
I never look.
I don't
look.
I don't look anymore. I've retired from looking. Then again, I don't really mulligan ever, so it really doesn't really.
And I think mulliganing with this deck is just fine. There are so many hyper-aggressive starts you can find. Jeremy Stowe, we have not seen him this match come out with multiple Burning Tree emissaries yet. If you come out with that, if you go to 5 and your hand is land, Burning Tree, Fire Fist Striker, is that good enough?
Yeah, it might be.
Maybe mix it up with a turn 1 Rakdos Cackler as well and draw into an extra Burning Tree? Why not? If we're dreaming, dream big.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Zach Stern, perhaps dreaming about his trophy. You have to feel good in a situation like this.
Yeah,
the finals of a tournament, you are on the play, and your opponent is mulliganing to 5. Do you feel it? Do you feel
I feel
the
it in the air.
icy grip? Do you feel the cold in your hands? Is winter coming?
Yeah, I feel it too. It's that feeling we talked about it. I think it was yesterday during the top 8. When you're playing your winning in prior to that, and your opponent's mulliganing, you've won game 1, you were feeling good. That is a new feeling. There's nothing better than that feeling, because you haven't really got there yet. Because after you win the whole thing, like win an open, you feel good for a minute, you have the trophy, but it's exhilarating to make it to the final 8. I find that more exhilarating than actually playing in the finals.
Yeah.
Maybe because when I get to the finals, I get they mop the floor with me. So I don't know if you guys watched during not the last invitational one before that, when Jerry Thompson smashed me 3-0, but I don't have really fond finals memories as of late. So. That Jerry guy.
Coverage coordinator Glenn Jones, you see him seated next to Jeremy Stowe, reporting to us that tank on 6 was a 1-land hand with multiple 2-drops. Now, if those 2-drops were mostly Burning Tree emissaries, I would keep. You take that shot. You have 2 draws for a land, and you come out with multiple Burning Trees. I keep that every time.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Instead, we have.
Looks like he has
land.
He has a decent hand. It looks like he has Burning Tree. I think it's a Reckoner. Nope. Can't really see those other cards. He's keeping them pretty close. But he's got a Burning Tree in hand and another land, so we're going to see something.
Oh, Zach Stern's going to shock himself with the Stomping Ground.
We're going to have this, and then we're going to have another mana guy. So we have 6 mana on turn 3 if he plays a land. That is just unfair. Oh, Frostbolt.
So Jeremy boarded into the Frostbolt.
He has doesn't he have Burning Tree? Can he just play Burning Tree into Frostbolt?
No, because it makes a red and
green. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So that's kind of a weird interaction because you can't play Ash Zealot off it. You can't play Frostborn Weird off it.
Yeah.
You're pretty much just stuck with what?
The
Firefish Striker and maybe a Cackler. So Burning Transmitter is not the greatest in this deck. I guess you need it for the Fanatic and Mogus, but otherwise it just doesn't do too much, right? Oh god, that is a nightmare.
Turn 3, Pelucranos World Eater from Zach Stern.
Here's a Phoenix, and he does have the Magus in his hand, or Mogus. Excuse me, is the Fanatic and Mogus in his hand. So how much devotion is that? 4, 6, 7 damage. Wow.
Let's see if Zach Stern leaves up.
Back to back of those.
Pelucranos.
If he doesn't do that, back to back Magus or Fanatic and Mogus here would be pretty nice. It'd be lethal.
Yeah, Zach would be forced to use Pelucranos to fight with probably the Chandra's Phoenix because it represents 2 devotion and 2 damage flying.
Yeah, let's see if Zach uses mana wisely. And he's only on 2 land here, but he has 3 mana dorks. I don't think he has another land in his hand. I can't see. Maybe he does.
So
Yeah, actually I lied. He does.
Surprising turnaround here, possibly. If Jeremy Stowe can launch several lava axes off of Fanatic of Mogus.
That's a card I always throw in my limited decks. I always have like 1 lava axe in my deck. You know, some spicy dream card. You know,
just lava axe, good old 5 damage for 5 mana.
Why did they change the flavor text on that card? It used to be catch. That was awesome.
What is it now? Is it some quote
that's
from
something
Chandra?
awful. Yeah, it's not even funny. It's not catch.
Well,
Because you get to like throw it at your opponent, like literally, just like launch it on the table,
maybe
have him catch it. There's a lot of flavor.
Certainly
involved.
good with the art of the guy throwing the axe.
Yeah, he's saying catch. You know, and then take your 5 damage.
What if your opponent catches it and throws it back at you, like Wild Ricochet?
Wild Ricochet. That's awesome. Oh, I got a story for you after this.
Wow.
It's gonna be story time.
I hope it's Wild Ricochet opportunity.
It's better than that. It was actually Brian Brondu and me and Ali Andrazi, and we'll talk about it after this series here. So we have
an Ember Swallower here. Zach has to tap his
Caryatid.
and
he drew another
instead
Fanatic
of
and Mogus. He's got 2 in hand. That is going to be lethal damage.
Does he have the 4th land?
I don't think so, though. Yeah, you're right. Never
he
mind.
mulliganed? Oh.
Is that 3 Fanatic and Mogus? That's 3 of them.
Oh, wow. Jeremy Stowe mulligans to 5, has 3 Fanatic of Mogus, no 4th land?
Oh,
that has got to be heartbreaking.
Actually, this game is going to end right here when he activates that creature's ability.
Ember Swallower?
Yeah, it's going to be...
Well, he needs 1 more mana to do that, but yeah, even if it takes another turn,
if
Jeremy
needs to draw a land,
back-to-back Fanatics to win this.
1 might be okay to get him in lethal for that Phoenix soon, but that's the card of the hour there we mentioned. Yeah. It's coming at the most opportune time here.
Gonna fight something against the Phoenix, most likely.
Ladies and gentlemen,
or maybe on the ground to just get damage in. Oh, he is in the Phoenix.
Fight the Phoenix.
Call for the Legacy Open. If you have not signed up,
well, that's interesting now because yeah, I mean, it's a 4/5, right? So yeah, he actually
4/5.
That's 2 damage on it. Yeah, you still send them both in because if he double blocks, you just take out. Actually, only kill 1 creature there, so maybe you don't even attack with it now. Yeah. He should have attacked first, right? Yeah, he should have attacked first with both creatures.
Yeah.
Then he would have been able to have more damage.
Jeremy, I mean, would not block.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter at this point. Zach's now just, his hand was absurd. Jeremy's was a mold of 5.
Jeremy losing 2 damage of the Fanatic here. He draws the 4th land, plays the Fanatic, deals 5, but not enough. That could have been 2 more. Could have been 7 with
and then
that
2 more from
Phoenix.
the Drake too, which would have put him at 5 life. Yeah, and then he could have played another one. The back-to-back option. Now he's going to do 6. Man, it's just not enough.
And Zach drawing the 7th mana source.
Alright, so first we're going to activate Domri here. Take a look at our top card.
Yeah, even though it feels like victory is in his hands, Zach Stern wants to make sure he does everything correctly. This is very important. You don't want to throw away a finals right here. Especially against a red deck. He's just played a Fanatic, and Jeremy has 2 cards in hand. So Zach has to be thinking about what they are. What could they be?
Worst case
more
scenario.
fanatics
Whenever you
or
have
more
red,
burn spells?
Whenever you have a red deck, you give worst case scenario and you play around it. So if worst case scenario is like double lightning strike here, you want to make sure your life tilt doesn't go low. But Zach is going to activate Pelucranos. No, excuse me, the world. Which name of the creature again? I need to remember
Ember
these.
Swallower?
Ember Swallower,
Yeah,
yeah.
to make him sacrifice
He's going
3
to
lands.
Armageddon Jeremy in all intents and purposes here, leaving with 1 land, and I don't see a series of draws after that Jeremy can do to come bounce back from that. He's really thinking about that. He's attacking here.
And so you see the counter on the Scavenging Ooze. It did eat the Chandra's Phoenix to make sure that it does not come back.
So Zach says attack. Jeremy says, all right, I'll take it all. What do you got for me? And he's going to say just the 5. We have a plan with our mana here.
If
Time to blow up the world.
Had drawn.
Oh, he's actually going to fight creatures. All right.
Well, that will also cut down on the devotion, right?
Yeah, I mean,
well, okay, does the fanatic, so only for 1.
I mean, it's not like I think Zach can take any line here and win.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to matter. But
So another fanatic is going to deal 5.
I think leaving Jeremy with 1 mountain would end the game immediately.
Yeah.
But now we're going to play on a little bit. Is that another? So he has 2 fanatics in hand, and he has a 5th land now. So here's
Another
a
fanatic, take 5, and now Zach
Now-
begins to sweat a little.
Yeah, now
Wait
you-
a minute.
Now you better Armageddon this time, or you're just dead.
Well, Jeremy's also in a position where he's going to be forced to block. So he's forced to lose some of his devotion.
Yeah, actually, and then he's going to gain life here. He's gonna
Scavenging Ooze
block,
gains
yeah.
life and also becomes a
Oh.
4/4.
It made it a little exciting at least for a minute though. Instead of just blowing up his land and calling it a day, we actually have a few more turns to process.
Yeah. Now he has to go for the Ember Swallower. He's seen the back-to-back fanatics. And just imagine if instead of the 3rd fanatic, Jeremy had drawn the 4th land on cue. He could have played his fanatic earlier, done 2 more damage because it had the Chandra's Phoenix on the board.
Yeah.
This game, I mean, even off a mull to 5, Jeremy came that close to victory, right?
Yeah, I
A
mean,
land.
it's close. A
Land
land.
off from victory.
Maybe it might have altered Zach's plays a little bit, but this is just a billion damage here. Fight 2. Attacking
Fight
for
something.
attacking for thousands.
He keeps fighting the fanatic, and
I feel because people, want to kill the bigger creatures. I see
Yeah.
what he's doing. And even though he didn't want to send the Land of Worlds in, just because the Elvish Mystics.
and that's it. Zach Stern with the green-red monsters, victorious in the finals here.
Yeah.
Over Jeremy Stowe playing mono-red aggro. Congratulations to both of them for fantastic finishes here. Congratulations for making it to the Invitational.
Pretty
All of
luck-
our top 8 competitors now earn an invite to a StarCityGames.com Invitational. There happens to be one in 2 weeks in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is just a short, 4, 5 hour drive from here. Easy day trip, right?
Yeah, and it's one of those tournaments that have just the most value you can really cram in. It's not a pro tour, but it's pretty close because here's why. 1, there are way more opportunities to qualify for it. 2, there's still a lot of money involved in it. I mean, first place, $10,000. That's a lot of money. And 3, you have again a high caliber level of play there with all the Star City folks that have been not only in Dublin now, they're going to come back and probably play in the Invitational right after that. So you still have the competitiveness.